We ranked number 1 for the term SEO agency, and in this video I'm going to run through why it was a big waste of time and money. Now, while ranking for SEO agency for an agency who, well, sells SEO might sound like the holy grail of organic results, here's 3 reasons why I'd never go after it again. Now, number 1, it was attracting the wrong ideal customer persona, or ICP. This is something we see all the time with B2B companies especially, and these companies jump to conclusions for keywords they think they should be ranking for without doing much testing beforehand. Now, this was no different for us. I mean, we're a B2B marketing agency, and out of the 60 inquiries that came through the term SEO agency, only 20% were B2B companies and 50% of those were one-man bands. So the majority of these leads were actually from very small B2C companies which didn't align at all to who we were looking to target. So for a year of ranking between position 1 and 3 for this highly competitive keyword, we roughly had 6 ICP aligned leads. And of these 6 leads, we had a 50% close rate. And while 3 customers is always awesome, the opportunity cost of ranking for this competitive keyword and the long sales process was not ideal. And if you're a company like us who serves a specific niche, you need to make sure that you test your keywords before going after them in the organic search. One of the best ways we found to do this is by running Google ad campaigns and then reviewing the CRM data for the highest performers. This way you can expedite the SEO research process from the keywords, the ads, and the landing page and get real world conversion data you wouldn't get otherwise from organic search. At the end of this, I'll link to a video where I run through how you can set up this blended SEO Google Ads report. Now, on a side note, before I move on to the second issue with ranking for this term, I was actually really surprised how many B2C companies got in contact without reading in the landing page which said we only work with B2B companies. That actually includes a competitor of River Island, and at this point I was starting to get really tempted to add a B2C offering to our portfolio, but I managed to stay strong. It was hard. Okay, so the first issue was the keyword wasn't aligned to our target audience market and reaching them properly. The second one, it was also a misaligned value proposition. And this is something that is overlooked a lot in competitive search. And you need to make sure that your company's value proposition is aligned to the searcher's post-conversion intent. What do I mean by this? Let's take this example. And in this example, the 3 deals we lost were all lost solely based on the price and not being the cheapest. Our biggest selling point or value proposition isn't our price, it's our service and expertise. And it turned out that a lot of the people who were finding us through this SEO agency related search in search engines were extremely price sensitive, and a lot viewed SEO as a commodity, not as a service. This issue is present in most industry SERPs. And while price isn't always the main factor, it's usually something similar like features, location, relevant social proof, and the sort of list goes on. So if search or SEO is one of your main acquisition channels, it's important to find out what your post-conversion differentiator is and guide your sales team to hone in on it, or make sure your e-commerce landing page is more tailored towards it. There's no point in trying to persuade prospects that they'll get 20% better results if they go with you, if all they want to do is pay 90% less. Final thing I want to discuss, and the third issue, is these searches for this term, and like a lot of similar terms, are still very early in the buying process. Now, most of the prospects that came through SEO had never actually heard of us before, meaning sales cycles were super long and we had to invest a lot of time into the process, and it was really, really resource heavy. And if you've got a small sales or marketing team like we have, this can cause real problems. You only have a certain amount of capacity, and you don't want to be spending all of that time on over bloated sales cycles and explaining why you're the best option for that company. On the other hand, if a brand has seen your LinkedIn ads, YouTube videos, newsletter content for a while, the conversation starts with how do you work with clients like us instead of what exactly do you do and prove it to me over a course of several phone calls. If they've been following you for a while, you're probably the only supplier they're speaking to, and they're already bought some more into your process or methodology. So naturally the sales cycles are shorter and it takes less conversations and persuading to get them across the line to sign the contract. If they came through search and it's the first time they've actually come across your brand, chances are they filled out 3 to 4 competitor forms in the search engines, and you guys are currently competing against these competitors as well. Search is so powerful in opening up new opportunities. You just need to be resourced accordingly to guide them through the sales process if this is a dynamic of your search landscape. So who would ranking for SEO agency actually be right for? In my opinion, it would be great for a general SEO agency who can offer a really low price, that have a really big or great sales team or a good qualification process. Now, this is the difference between marketing tactics and marketing strategy. Strategists look at the full funnel picture and assess how they can target their correct persona with their value proposition in the right channel to give them the highest chance of winning that customer. Tacticians in isolation just go and implement tactics that they know and they hope for the best. This is one of the biggest issues we see divide marketing and sales teams. So we need to make sure that we're actually thinking like a strategist and thinking about that full funnel, not just about quick wins and tactics, which will get us in front of some people, get some leads, but not get any results. Anyway, enough with the bad. Here are some massive positives for ranking for the term SEO agency. The first one was it was a great vanity metric. I like talking about how we rank for SEO agency, and it was a good talking point, and I can create videos like this. The second is it was a great case study, and companies that came through, even if it wasn't for SEO, we could use it as an example of, how good we were at SEO and actually use it as a use case to showcase our ability. And the third one was we actually built up a really good relationship with a B2C agency that we referred all the leads to. I mean, why wouldn't they? They were getting free leads. But they kind of reciprocated that and then sent B2B leads our way. So it became a really good, mutually beneficial relationship. The moral of this story is that SEO is super powerful, but only when it follows a data tested strategy and actually converts customers into revenue, not just fills up your CRM pipeline, but doesn't actually have a great sales conversion rate. And if you actually want to dive into more SEO issues that we come across all the time, especially from a B2B perspective, I'll link this video up here of ones we see all the time. And if you want to watch the video around how you can set up that Google Ads and SEO blended report, which I mentioned earlier, I'll link to that up here. Hope you found this video useful, guys. And until next time, have a great week.